Are you a Jedi?
I'm a Jedi, like my father before me.
Are you here to take the child?
I'll take him to my Jedi temple, where he'll be slaughtered by Kylo Ren.
He is my baby, and I am his daddy.
Oh, Jedi Master you are.
And we're back.
Once again.
Definitely didn't
Yeah.
just record a full podcast episode and find out that it wasn't recording.
To be fair, I definitely didn't record a full podcast episode. We just got 15 minutes in.
Yeah. But we're back again for the second time today. The third or fourth time on your screens, because we don't know when we're going to release this
Yeah, we
yet.
haven't decided when we're going to release this.
That being said, welcome to the
Yeah.
Best Boys. I'm Preston.
And I'm Jeremy.
And the Mandalorian is back.
Do you want to just go straight to Mandalorian? Or
Yeah. So we'll do news segments on more newsworthy weeks, but I
Yeah.
think this is the biggest thing that happened.
Oh, for sure. This is the biggest thing that's happened. This is probably the biggest thing that's come out in 2020.
What about Sonic?
This is the biggest thing that's happened to come out in 2020.
Yeah, I think you're right. In this space it is
For sure. Absolutely.
I mean, there's Tenet, but like Tenet almost saved the movie industry.
but also single-handedly destroyed it.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, let's get off that touchy subject. Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan's gonna find this pod.
Yeah.
Let's talk full season.
Season 2 as a whole.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Jar Jar Binks and the weird long lip lady from Return of the Jedi dancing at Canto Bite.
Okay.
And
so one, even 1 is great.
okay. The lowest bar possible. And then 10 is Mustafar, Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight, and the second Death Star is above them in orbit where Luke and Darth Vader are fighting. And in the room next door to the Emperor's throne room, Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting the Royal Guard. And in the basement level, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan are fighting Darth Maul.
So
That's a
it's-
10. Just the ultimate
Okay, so like
perfect, yeah. And Han and Leia are just making out in the Millennium Falcon outside in between.
just circling.
They're just doing it. He put it on. Actually, no, Chewie's driving. Chewie and
Chewie and
he's
Lando
just
are in
like
the front
he's like-
seat. It's Lando when he's in the Han Solo vest.
yeah.
That's still my favorite thing.
That they're
Real
just
quick.
like, we're gonna replace him.
That Lando's like, well, Han's not here.
Guess I'm
gonna
the new
wear his
Han.
clothes.
Yeah.
Just a weird. But yeah, I'd probably give it, if we had to go round numbers, I'd go 6. But if we could go like 6.5, I'd go 6.5.
We can do decimals to 1 degree,
to
the 10th.
6.5 because like
not 6.9.
not 6.9. That's too close to 7.
Nice. I'd probably have to give it like 7.5, in between 7
That's
and 8.
Yeah, because you're definitely more for the hype moments.
I
than
buy
am.
into the hype
Yeah,
big
you-
time.
which
There-
is-
and there was plenty
Yeah,
this
oh,
season.
for sure.
Mainly just like 1 or 2.
Yeah,
Really
the
just 2.
big ones. Yeah.
2 big ones. Yeah, which is enough. Like
Oh,
that's
for
all I
sure.
need. Like in Endgame, like it could have been just Black Panther coming out of the portal, and I still would have been just as hyped. Like it,
Yeah, no. All,
just
all,
him and
all I
Doctor
needed,
Strange.
all I needed from the Endgame portal scene was Sam saying "on your left" and flying through.
that's
That's
true.
the only one I need.
Well, that and then Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Those are the 2. Yeah.
It's just only.
He could have even said Avengers Assemble when it was just like the people that had survived.
Yeah.
It would have been not as great, but
yeah.
still works. Still gets
Anyways.
me riled
But
up
yeah,
on the inside.
that being said, Preston, he's part of the corporate machine.
I am. Like Disney, just feed me what I want and I will continuously pay you money.
Dave Filoni and Kevin Feige are his gods.
I wouldn't say that. I'm a part of the Church of Scientology, so is my Lord.
Oh no!
I need to bleep that. Jimmy, cut that out.
But yeah, so there was a lot early on that I was not the biggest fan of, but
Yeah.
the last 3 episodes in particular were pretty good. Like I
Yeah.
had a very good time with those last 3 episodes.
It was definitely backloaded. A dump truck of an ass
For
on
sure.
this season.
The first episode I really enjoyed. I was kind of upset that we didn't get any sort of like forwarding of the story except for that Boba drop at the very end.
Of the first episode?
Of the first episode.
Yeah.
And so it took a second to get into actuals because we got that one and then we had Frog Lady.
Yeah, Frog Lady.
Which is I don't even
Frog Lady lasted what, 2 episodes?
Frog Lady. She was in it 2 episodes. Episode 3 though was the one with Bo-Katan.
Okay, so
And
that
so
at least had some.
So yeah,
substance.
that was the first episode that kind of forwarded the main plot with Gideon.
Yeah.
And like I love Timothy Olyphant and I love that character and I really hope he comes back. Like make him a Ranger of the New Republic.
Definitely. Yes, he should be a main character on that show for
Like
sure.
give me stuff like that. But again,
Actually, he'll probably be a main character on the Boba Fett show, more likely,
I could see that.
because Tatooine.
My guess is that the Boba Fett show is going to be a very short 4 to 5 episodes probably.
And I think maybe 2 of those episodes will probably be flashbacks,
Yeah.
which is what I want. Like I want.
Yeah, I want-
Hey, they could bring back Mr. Logan for a flashback episode.
Oh man would cream his jeans.
Maybe that's why he's been posting so much.
He's just trying to give you. But see, the way he's posting.
Yeah, just
Is the
for,
wrong
for,
way to-
for reference to everybody, the actor that played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones is deep faking himself.
Onto Mandalorian Boba Fett's face, or like, so he is putting himself in that Mandalorian suit, but on as a deep fake.
Yes, and also we say deep fake, but it's definitely just a face
It's just
app.
that app.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a face app.
It's
yeah.
not. It's not good.
No.
And
no,
somebody commented and asked how he was doing it or what app he was using to do
Yeah.
it, and he said, "My best friend's making these." It's like, oh, what app is your best friend using? Because your best friend ain't using
Yeah.
any sort of
Yeah.
like software.
And
or
it's
anything.
also it's not his friend. It's him.
It's him.
It's definitely him.
yeah. But
Anywho,
I want to see Crime Lord Boba Fett.
Crime Lord Boba Fett would be dope. I think it would be cool if. I honestly don't know what I want.
I would love to see some of the old bounty hunters come back.
Yeah.
Give us
Bosk. Bosk.
Bosk, Dengar.
Gengar is cool. I don't need another IG-88.
I mean, oh, what about Forlom? He's the
Is
one.
he the one that's like an octopus stew inside of a fishbowl?
No, I don't know. What you're he's the one that looks like a fly. The eyes on the helmet. It's like he's a droid and he has huge eyes on
Okay,
his
that's
helmet.
what I was talking about.
Okay, I don't understand where you're going with that.
We'll put a picture on the screen.
But yeah, that one's interesting.
Yeah,
And
I
I
want to
think-
see him disintegrate people.
True.
No disintegrations.
That's
Yeah.
not a great Vader voice, but
To be edited in the Vader voice.
But I'm down for that. I think that Boba Fett coming out in December means that Mando season 3 will be later 2022,
probably.
which I'm fine with.
Unless they just rush it out and it comes out this spring, which
Well,
would be
they're filming
dumb.
Deadline like a month or 2 ago reported that a Boba Fett show was happening, and it was filming before Mando season 3.
Okay, so Mando season 3 is not filming yet.
So Boba's filming right now, and as soon as Boba's done filming, then they'll start filming Mando.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so we probably won't get it till 2022 then. Mando season
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
But I could see like March or April at the probably latest, depending on how. Because I'm assuming that's going to be a short. Boba Fett's going to be a short show. They'll probably have.
Well, like even Mando's kind of a short show.
Yeah, oh, for
all
sure.
things considered. So yeah.
And because it's not even like Game of Thrones, which is the same amount of episodes, but the episodes are an hour each.
Because they have
it's-
20 to 40 minute episodes.
Yeah, it can range anywhere from 20 to 50 minutes for Mando, or 60. Wasn't the first one 65 this season? It was.
I
think it was upwards of an hour this season.
perhaps.
I think the first, and that gave me a very false sense of hope.
Yeah, yeah. So anything else you want to talk about before we get into the season finale, which is obviously our main goal.
We should talk about Boba Fett a little bit more about his stuff.
His return.
Yeah. Is there anything I'm trying to think between? Oh, Ahsoka. The fact that I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
remember Ahsoka is a problem. I wasn't the most hype on Ahsoka. Personally,
Yeah.
I like seeing lightsaber stuff, and it was
her lightsabers were dope.
Yeah.
Like not even just like them not having a color I could care less about. It was the sound design and the two sizes. Like the different
the two
lengths.
sizes has always been my favorite thing about Ahsoka. Is
Mhm.
like that's just so clever. Whenever she has two, it's like a katana and a tanto blade.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
very Japanese inspired, which is super cool.
Yeah, and you're a huge weeb. Like, you love anime.
Oh,
so that makes
absolutely.
sense why you'd love that.
Guys, I've watched one anime, and it's Cowboy Bebop.
Nah, he's
Uh,
always watching anime. He's got his Naruto body pillows and everything. Sasuke!
But yeah, that was the coolest thing, was just seeing more lightsaber stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally don't care that much about Ahsoka because I'm not the biggest on Clone Wars. That being said, Rosario Dawson felt a little too stoic for me personally. There were a few moments when she was talking to him, like when she said talking about first times. Is that a reference? I like
Probably.
I like first times, good or bad. They're always memorable.
She's talking about when she lost her virginity to Anakin.
No.
Which is funny because Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson did used to date.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
But yeah,
Plenty of jokes to be made there.
Like that was that being the, so basically that was the plot of the first half of the season, was get Baby Yoda to Ahsoka.
Yes, and then she immediately said,
Exactly.
Nah.
That's my problem with that, is that it's like we knew Ahsoka was coming, so off the bat we were leading up to Ahsoka. Everybody was like, okay, episode 5, Dave Filoni's directing, that's the
It's
Ahsoka
gotta be
episode.
Ahsoka, yeah.
And so we get episode 1 and 2, it's like, okay, that's filler. And then at the end of episode 3, Bo-Katan's like, go to Ahsoka, tell her I sent you. And then we got episode 4, which is a super fun episode. And like nothing, I mean, we got the Snoke clones and that reveal in that one.
Yes,
Which was-
yes. The Rise of Skywalker prelude.
Which was interesting. Not the biggest fan of it.
I
hope
would like to see more.
I would say kind of hope they don't just leave that there. And
yeah, because it's like an interesting Easter egg, but I kind of want to know more. Like,
yeah, you can't. Well,
I also we'll
Mo-
talk about this after the finale talk, but like, curious what the future looks like for Baby Yoda.
Moff Gideon said that he's stealing. He only needed his blood to study, and he already got that. So
Which I feel like might have been a bluff. So we should get back to that when
Okay,
we talk about the season.
I just feel like there's so much to do with that. Like you cannot introduce that thread and not go anywhere
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, my favorite. I love your theory that Baby Yoda becomes Snoke.
Baby Yoda is Snoke. They're going to make him like. Just wait.
I mean,
Just wait.
and then we got all we really got from the Ahsoka episode. The only thing that really came from that was we saw Ahsoka, we set up the Thrawn plot for her show,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got his name being Grogu.
We also got the Beskar spear, so that was
The
kind of
Beskar
important.
spear, which was such a strange, like,
Very random,
yeah,
but it makes sense.
and like the fact that that lady, the magistrate, is that what they called her?
I think so, yeah.
She was from Dathomir, which is Darth Maul's planet. Was pretty cool.
Cool, but I was kind of like, well, then why aren't you either A, a witch, or B, tattooed?
Yeah,
Like-
I was doing the same thing. It's like if you're a Night Sister, all the Night Sisters have pale white skin.
And like are literally magic.
Yo,
like,
straight up, they're witches.
So
they're
that was
either,
strange.
They're either witches or they're the same species of Darth Maul on that
Yeah.
planet. Like that's literally.
Yeah, so and like I'm sure it was probably just like a budget thing and more of just kind of like a Easter egg, but it
Yeah.
was also like kind of would have been cooler if she was like
If she was- I mean,
maybe it would have been a mess if she was
But
a
also
witch.
introduce the Night Sisters. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Like that's not something that's ever been explored in
yeah,
main stuff, unless except for Clone Wars and stuff, probably.
most likely, yes.
But yeah, that episode was fine. And then, but I really did like we didn't have a filler between that one and the next one.
Yes.
That was very important to me.
Yes. No, that was great that they were able to get straight to the Seeing Stone or whatever it's called, the Sorting Hat.
Yeah, the fact that there was no problem finding it too. He's like, oh, there it is.
Season 2 of Mandalorian, lots of Harry Potter parallels. We'll get into that though.
I mean, do we have to?
Yes. Seeing Stone. Seeing Stone is the Sorting Hat / the fireplace.
How is it?
Intergalactic communication. You know how like they can talk like with flue powder through the fireplace?
You don't talk, you teleport, don't you?
Well, no, teleporting is flue power, but like the fireplace.
Oh,
is,
can you send a message?
Yeah.
I don't.
There's a great scene of Commissioner Gordon talking in the.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And then we'll get to this, but Darksaber is the Elder Wand.
That's straight up that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
that
Daniel Radcliffe was in it. He played Bib Fortuna.
my favorite episode was that episode with the Boba Fett.
It's up there for
That
sure.
hyped me up so much. I love
Dude,
Robert Rodriguez.
The reveal, the shot reveal where it's like the stormtrooper and then it turns and the camera pans with it and he's
He's a unit. And everybody's like calling him Boba Fett and stuff, and it's like, first of all,
he's like 60.
he's an old man. He's not gonna be in pristine shape because
Yeah.
that's never been like he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's not
Yeah.
gonna stay in the.
Well, also it's not like Jango Fett was in great
No,
shape
yeah.
either. Like,
And people are like, oh, there's a problem with the cloning process. LOL. It's like,
one look at Pedro Pascal. Like he's not fit. Well, he's
I mean,
fit, but he's not like.
no, he's not sculpted. Like,
yeah, he's not like insert
He has a-
Marvel hero here.
he has a
you know?
very like he's a very achievable fit, which is
just not being fat.
Yeah.
like it's just,
And-
he's just not obese.
and I had no problems with. I thought he looked great.
Well, and plus they have the armor. That's what's cool about him.
Yeah.
Like it's not
And
like
the
they're
armor-
shirtless.
The armor looked cool with the black. Like I was,
Yeah.
I thought for the first reveal, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Strange, but also made sense for that because he's just tossing it on. So
And then, but also him with that staff before he got it, like
he was moving.
watching the helmets be
I
destroyed.
love
was
all the
so
like
cool.
cracking of stormtrooper armor
So
in
that
this season.
is so weak. Why are
Yeah.
they outfitting him with that?
It's literally called space plastic or something.
Yeah.
It's like space carbon or something.
Is it just because they had to mass produce it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
it was such a fun and like Phoenix Shand or how I don't know if it's Shand. Phoenix.
Yeah.
She was dope this season.
She was great.
Her that scene where she jumps off the rock backwards.
She had the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
It's so cool. Like she actually not only kind of contributed to the plot because she was with Boba and that's the reason like it came back, but like just badass fight scenes
Yeah.
we got with her. Like and then when Mando walks up behind her and uses his little wrist guys,
Yeah. All the wrist guys are always great. I love those.
and the little whistles of them. Yeah. And then Bill Burr coming back. I love
Those are yeah.
that episode wasn't my favorite. It was definitely top higher tier.
Yeah, it was a filler, but it was the highest tier of filler.
It was a filler that still ended up progressing in the plot. Like we knew exactly what was coming next.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bill Burr deserves an Emmy for that performance he does at that table.
Yeah, it was literally the only time we've seen Bill Burr not play himself.
100%. Because even in the show, he's been playing himself. Like,
yeah.
like
Well,
when they're in the car.
isn't he
and
in
they're
Breaking
talking about-
Bad too?
I don't know. I haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Oh, me neither. Perfect. So yes, we can definitively say that he was in Breaking Bad. And he played William Burr.
But yeah, like even like when they're driving that tanker and
Yeah.
he's talking to him, it's like, yeah, that's still Bill Burr.
He's just
You're
being
just,
Bill
you're
Burr,
just
yeah.
space Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they cast Bill Burr because Jon Favreau approached Bill Burr because he knew Bill Burr
Hates Star
notoriously
Wars.
hates
Yeah.
Star Wars. And I feel like that gives that character more depth almost because it's like he's not on anybody's side, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. And there's plenty of opportunity for him to come back in some show or another.
Yeah. Yeah, let's Rangers of the New Republic have him like doing a heist or something. Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to bring it up. It does irk me that he's like, no, I can't do it. And then as soon as Mando takes off his helmet and is doing it, he walks up.
right in. He walks right in. Yeah. Well,
And
it,
like,
also,
it was a last chance. But like, if you did it off the bat, you would have been able to do exactly what you did to defend Mando, and
Yeah.
he wouldn't have had to take his helmet off.
Yeah, it cheapens the helmet removal, I feel like. Once you know everything, it cheapens it a little
Yeah.
bit. So I
But
did have problems
also
with that.
a great character moment when he hands in the helmet back and says, "I didn't see anything."
Yeah.
Like that just proves that this
or
character.
or he just was afraid that Mando would kill him if he didn't say
Yeah,
something.
because everybody else died. Oh, also, I mean, I know you don't care about this, but I figured that I learned this like last week, like middle of the week. That guy who is the officer that
Mhm.
he's talking to is the Night King from Game of Thrones. I did not know because the Night King
that's
doesn't
one
talk.
of my favorite characters.
I know
from
you
Game of
haven't
Thrones.
seen Game of Thrones, but you know the Night King, the guy with the horns on his head, zombie looking dude. Interesting. Okay.
I know he was at the Dothraki wedding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I think the progression was good because we got fun with Timothy Olyphant, few filler episodes. We got Bo-Katan, and it was kind of like, oh, there's a hint of something.
Yeah.
And then we move forward. We got Ahsoka, which was cool. Not necessarily like great thematically, like with everything you've mentioned. But then straight ahead, we got Boba Fett, and we're like, oh yeah.
And Boba Fett stuck around. That's the best part.
Yeah, it wasn't
is
a
that
one-off.
We
thing.
got him for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And also, I was a little like, maybe don't freshly paint the armor. It looks so
It
good.
looks dope. Yeah, I like it.
Because we've never seen that armor fresh
Yeah.
in Boba paint.
Yeah, with
'cause
green.
it's
It's always silver. Or
Yeah,
blue.
it's technically still Jango's armor, which
Yeah.
is I didn't know until this episode. I never knew that it was.
Yeah.
Which means they just let that kid walk out of that Coliseum holding his dad's
Dead
armor.
body, yeah.
Do you think he took the whole body?
I mean,
I mean,
it,
he took the head for
he
sure.
definitely took the head. Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe he just put it on and then walked out
The
wearing
little
really
kid.
baggy clothes. Yeah.
And then Mace Windu cuts off his head again. Are you okay? Before I know how hype you are on the reveal from finale. Are you upset that it wasn't Mace Windu?
Yeah. Well, so what I wanted to happen is I wanted Mace Windu to come for Grogu, and I wanted him to decapitate Boba Fett like father, like son, and I wanted that just to be a hilarious moment. Also, a big FU to Boba stans because Boba Fett is the Mr. Magoo of the Star Wars universe, and just accidentally he's like Ernest Goes to Army.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's like
He's just like, whoa, Sarlacc pit. And
I read
like-
I read a theory that I really liked about why Boba Fett dies in the in Empire or
Mhm.
Return of the Jedi is because he was partying the night before. He was on
He's
Jabba's
just super hungover.
He was
That would
hungover.
make sense.
and then-
he's just like chilling in there,
Yeah,
like
'cause
talking
he's-
to that one
He
chick.
didn't he expect to have to guard anything. He was like, "Oh, I'll just come stand on the skiff.
Yeah,
They're prisoners. They'll be talked in," and then it happens.
that's fair.
Because he was literally they were at Jabba's palace the night before, and he was just chilling. It's like I could easily see him being like, "I'll hammer back with a few drinks.
Yeah, I could see that.
Get with that pink lady."
Yeah.
That's just a fun little
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't such a super incompetent dude. It was more of
Yeah. No, I'm not disappointed that it wasn't Mace Windu because I knew that was a long shot and just probably wouldn't happen in general. But should we just fully talk about season finale?
before we go to season finale, that seismic charge in the episode before. Oh,
It's a big nut moment.
oh, it's so good. That was probably the most hype I was the whole season. I love that moment is so good because I was like, because as soon as Slave won it again, I'm like, are we gonna get seismic charges?
Were we gonna get it? Yeah, no, that was
It was
cool,
just-
and
it
it
was
like
very nice.
yeah,
And they did it. They did it perfect. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
the sound design was matched it, but was better. Okay, you want to dive in?
I do. I want to dive in. Where did the episode start?
The episode started with them.
They captured the scientist.
They captured Dr. Pershing. I think. His
Yes,
name is?
Pershing. Who pretty much also I love that one of the pilots was just like full like the most evil Nazi
Yeah,
space dude
you had
of
both
all
ends.
time.
You had both ends of the Empire spectrum, which was very interesting. One who's like, "I will die for this cause," and the other one's like, "Hey man, take him. Don't want any harm."
Yep, just let it happen. And then also like, yeah, I thought it was funny just how like cacklingly evil he
Yeah,
got.
for
He's
no
like,
reason.
He's like, it was hilarious when a whole planet of people blew up, and then he's like, but when you blew up our troops in the Death Star, we was sad. It's like, dude, you just like it
Yeah.
was so quick of like,
Yeah.
do you know how many people you killed in the Death Star? It's like you literally just bragged about blowing up a
a planet.
Like, shut the
And,
fuck
and to
up.
be fair, like the Death Star had a lot of people.
Oh yeah, Luke Skywalker is like a notorious serial killer. Like he's
No,
literally
it's-
murdered.
I wouldn't say
millions of people.
serial. I would just say mass murderer.
Mass
because,
murderer,
because
yeah,
serial killers are personal. He man is just
True.
like, hey,
He just
for the
dropped
cause,
the bomb
yeah.
and then just sent it to everybody. Yeah.
I mean, you could say he's a terrorist of the Empire for sure.
Yeah, he certainly is that.
But I rewatched the first scene because somebody pointed to something out. I was like, I gotta rewatch it. When Cara Dune, when she shoots the guard, she hits part of Pershing's ear. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
why I missed that the first time, and that's why he's groaning over and acting like he's been shot because he
Yeah,
was
'cause
shot.
He was shot in the head. Yeah.
yeah.
No, well, as soon as like he pointed the gun, I was like, oh, one of them's gonna snipe him. Like it's just gonna be a crazy
Yeah,
headshot.
and of course it was Miss No Plot.
I also like how Pershing was pretty much just like, yep, like do whatever you want.
Yeah, no,
Go
he,
here. Like he's
he,
like,
like, don't-
I'm just here
I
because
don't wanna
have to be."
die.
Yeah.
which is the best. Like, you're a scientist in Star Wars. That's your vibes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You're doing things that the evil people are gonna want to get.
Yeah, and they're making you do it, otherwise you die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they had a good little battle plan. I was kind of bummed out that Boba Fett just dipped,
Yeah.
which it makes sense because it's like obviously Slave One can't land for like the plan that they had, but he also definitely could have showed up. But probably better that he wasn't there at the end.
No, I mean
Luke would have decapitated him.
it makes sense. It definitely makes sense that he didn't come. But yeah, we literally just see him skirt off and have the TIE fighters follow him. It's like, that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was.
But
yeah.
we did get the after credit scene that filled a little Boba hole.
Yeah,
Which
but
will-
it also means that he came back there to pick up Fennec.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's
he wasn't deserting. It's
Yeah, no,
that
it
was
was part of the plan.
Yeah, it was part of the plan. But I feel like you have Boba Fett. You should utilize him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But also,
I guess they did in the past 3 episodes though.
Bo-Katan and her sidekick, Ahsoka Reeves, which is
Her GF.
yeah.
Also, what happened to the dude? Wasn't there? There's 3 of them.
His name was Axe.
Hell yeah, like the body spray.
Yeah. Are they a little racist towards
Oh, big
anybody
time.
who's not
Big,
a
dude,
pure
We
Mandalorian?
literally made a video last year about how racist the Star Wars universe is.
I 100%. But I didn't think it would still be because like
Oh,
Tamando-
times
Tama-
have not changed.
Commando immediately in episode 3, they're like, "You're weird.
Yeah,
You keep your helmet on."
that was less racism and more like
classism almost.
or like religious xenophobia. Of
Yeah.
like, oh,
You're one of those.
you take it a little too seriously.
But then Boba rolls up and they're like, "You're not a real Mandalorian." And just like off the bat, it's like, calm down.
They acted how like super devout Catholics act about like Mormons. They're like, oh, you're taking this a little seriously. Like,
or how Mormons act about like casual Christians. Where
that's
it's like,
it one of those dynamics.
you drink alcohol and show your ankles.
You drink Coca-Cola or anything but Coca-Cola.
Oh, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And maybe that was why Bo-Katan was like, "Yeah, you'll lead off the TIE fighters. You'll get."
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like I'm still pretty iffy on like all the different Mandalorian factions and how serious but not serious they are about their different things. It's kind of like,
Yeah, it's
maybe there's a reason why y'all didn't survive against the
exactly.
Empire.
There seems to be a lot of contention. I again haven't watched either of the animated shows all the way through, so I can't speak for a lot of it. But like,
I mean, in Clone Wars, they pretty much just get railed by Darth Maul. Like that's it's no one's bad really. It's just kind of like, yeah, Darth Maul was just smarter than all of you guys.
it's which proves something. It's just super interesting that they're like, "No, you can't. You're not Mandalorian. You can't come to Mandalore with us." Like, shut up.
yeah.
But also, that scene with the
It's-
Imperial
it's-
lander was dope.
Yeah, and also I liked how she was like, "You're not a Mandalorian." He's like, "I didn't claim to, sweetie." Like it was just.
Yeah.
Also, he sounds hella like Slade from.
I was just going to say that
Yeah,
he sounds like Manu Bennett.
yeah. Which I'm down. Like
yeah,
Manu
which is
Bennett's dope.
yeah. It's. But yeah,
Hangs dong.
he certainly does.
Yeah, and it also I liked that them uniting made sense because she's been after him.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, this is how we both win,"
Yeah.
and that was a perfect moment before the twist. But also, I don't want to talk too much about Cara Dune because we all know how I feel about her. She didn't need to be there. She literally was just another gun, but like the worst one out of all of them because her gun jams and she just starts beating people with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's just probably the only being physically strong enough to carry that turret.
And also the only person who can punch out a stormtrooper and knock him out. Like, just so wild. But at the same time, while that was happening, while we were having them all go towards the bridge to find Gideon, the fight between Mando and that first Death Trooper,
Stressful.
those things are horrifying.
Yeah, they're just like the
They've
most
got-
like strong ass Iron Man robot.
They've got
armor.
Terminator vibes.
Definitely some T-1000 looking
T1
ass.
yeah, and then like the whistling whatever's not working on him. Like everything he tries not working on him. He hits him with the flamethrower and it just kind of like
He's just like
spreads throughout the
"I am
body.
on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna stand still while you're doing this.
I'm gonna
but
look more menacing now. But
then-
that Beskar spear
that
came in
Beskar spear,
real handy.
it's proven I would like him to make it into a sword.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it was like 2 spears and he used them like swords, like dual blades.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
be
it
kinda
just feels like I'm not the biggest spear fan.
dope. Yeah,
I'm not
well,
a spearhead if you
that-
know what I mean.
Okay. That being said, I feel like we've never really gotten a action hero whose main weapon is a spear.
Because they're boring. You can
I'm-
can do
like,
one.
I'm-
You can do one thing with spears, and it's poke.
It's poke, yeah. But since it's a Beskar spear, it's
It's,
also
yeah, the whole thing isn't just like we had with the Darksaber fight where he's
Yeah.
hit in the middle. Also,
sabers can definitely melt through Beskar. Like the way it was heating up red hot, like that gave me big adamantium vibes.
it would take a
from-
long time. I think it would
Yeah.
take like at least a couple minutes of direct contact.
Yeah. But I'd just like to say that it's definitely not fully saber impervious.
No.
Enough for a fight, but
I also feel like if the saber was against Beskar and ignited, it would go through it. Because like, what would it do then?
pop out.
Just
I mean, I guess it depends on how strong the
Yeah.
person holding the saber is.
it just goes.
Yeah, because I feel like if it was just like Mando holding it, it would shoot out. But if it was like Force user using the Force to hold it there,
Or
it would.
like Cardoon.
Dude, ridiculous.
My biggest problem plot wise with this episode was that Mando was like, when he's talking to Moff Gideon, Moff Gideon's like, just take the baby and we'll go our separate ways. It's like, this man is evil.
Yeah, which is also why I said that I think him talking about needing just Baby Yoda
Was also a lie.
it was a bluff to be like, oh no, like I already researched him. I don't need him anymore. I think it was just
And then
to
he
get him to turn
his
his back.
goal was to kill
Yeah.
him. That's fair.
Yeah. Also, it's just very like cowardly of Moff, but also he's a bad guy. So
Oh yeah, he's a Nazi.
Yeah.
He's a space Nazi. Obviously, gonna be a little cowardly. That's part
Right.
of their deal.
that is the way it goes.
He went hard with that Darksaber at first, though. He was swinging.
He was slamming.
He was swinging for
definitely-
decapitation.
He puts off vibes of like he was definitely trained in swordsmanship, but that's not like his forte.
Yeah, where he's like, he understands it, but that's all. Like, he doesn't have any specialty in it.
Yeah.
He's like, and also in a moment of heated, where he's just like,
Well, I think the reason he's gotten by is because he's like, I'm the only person with a lightsaber here. Like, no one can touch me. But yeah, I like that. I also so let's talk about the Darksaber, and AKA the Elder Wand.
go on.
So he makes it sound like it's this whole magic thing, like the Elder Wand, but then he's like, no, it's the story. But then it's like, who gives a shit? All of you as a team came there, and in Rebels,
Sabine passes it to Bo-Katan.
yeah,
Yeah. So I read an explanation about that because I was very confused. I was like, Reddit, I need help.
yeah,
So what I took from Moff Gideon's talk with Mando at the start was that it represents power. Having it represents power. It's not like he doesn't give you power, which is fair. But people were explaining that since in Rebels she was given the Darksaber, she didn't win it, but her fight against the Empire was a symbolic win, and so that was her win. It didn't have to be one on that. It was her, and everybody recognized that she led that fight, so they gave it to her. But if she takes it again from Mando, her reputation will be as the leader of the Mandalorian who never won the Darksaber, never fought for the Darksaber. And so apparently it's a pride thing.
okay,
Which makes sense.
I understand that, but also, like, there's no way for her to get it because her killing Mando is not a good story. Like, that's not a better story.
Exactly. That's my big problem with, like, I've seen theories since the start of this season. They're like, either Grogu is going to become a Mandalorian, Din will die, and he'll become the titular Mandalorian, which is just a horrible idea, and or Bo-Katan, or Din will die and Bo-Katan will become the titular Mandalorian, or I've seen Boba Fett theories. Din Djarin is the titular Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There is no Mandalorian show without him.
Yeah.
They are not doing
At this point,
I don't like. They haven't set
they're
anybody
too
up,
deep. They're too deep,
and they
now.
haven't set, and nobody's set up enough. I would be angry if they killed him off and made Bo-Katan or Boba Fett the main man.
Bo-Katan's not really likable either. Like
No,
the way
she's-
she's written,
She's
like if purely from the Mandalorian.
she's very much she's not a villain, but she has her own cause, and she is only doing things to progress her cause, which is like,
Yeah, and I think season 3 will be interesting with like them bouncing off each other, doing the same thing. Because I feel like by doing this, Mando was like, yeah, I'm gonna help your cause. So like that's where like he's like, my quest is over now. I'm helping you take over Mandalore.
or I mean, hopefully we just get him being like, nah, he's like, I'm gonna leave the dark saber somewhere on my ship. If you want to come grab it, you can. I'm not using
Well,
it.
he doesn't have a ship anymore.
Yeah, I mean he'll get slaved too.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him go back to bounty hunting and just be like, yep, back.
Yeah.
But
I
no, we
doubt it,
won't. We won't. It will. My theory is that probably the first half to 3/4 of the season will be about dealing with the stuff on Mandalore. Bo-Katan will be a recurring character throughout and all her team, and then something will happen. Either Din is in trouble, and Grogu comes and saves him at the last minute, or the other way around.
I really think they
cannot-
should drop Baby Yoda.
I cannot see, but see, I agree 100%. But I cannot see them going a whole season without Baby Yoda. You really think they're gonna not do Baby Yoda?
Well, I feel like Luke showing up to save the day and taking him is them writing him off. Because the problem with Baby Yoda is that he has the potential to live. He's gonna live to be at least 800 or 900 years old.
No, he's not. Because
No, but I mean like genetically. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
but-
he's not gonna be an adult that can speak like Yoda for another 100 or 200 years. So like, there's no relationship with Din and Yoda that grows.
Have you seen the theory that he doesn't speak out of trauma
No, but sure.
because he was in Order
Yeah.
66, so he saw.
I've been seeing some theories that Palpatine is the one who took him from the Jedi Temple.
A lot of theories I've seen were that he was not saved for good reasons.
Yeah.
He was saved by somebody evil so there was something like they understand this species ages slowly, so that's like
Yeah.
he's not gonna be a threat, and he's
Yeah.
also an asset.
Well, yeah, because
I would love it if they wrote him out. I can't see it happening because of how much money he has made them.
I guess just for me, because they really can't bring him back without bringing back Luke, which seems like too expensive to do.
I mean, if it's one episode.
If it's one episode, yeah. Look, I'm not gonna be mad because if they bring back Luke, that's tight. Like, I was hyped, but I don't know. I just don't think Baby Yoda makes sense anymore now that because literally the only thing for Baby Yoda was to get to a Jedi, and now that's done. Like, his whole arc is over.
My thing is, I feel like the only reason he went with Luke is because he thought that's what Mando wanted him to do. Whereas that he was looking for that look of approval, like, this is where you want me to go type thing. It became Wolf and Cub.
No, it 100%
And
is.
so
Like, it was probably meant to be Wolf and Cub.
So I'm
like, Baby Yoda showed up in the first episode.
So I'm very interested to see if that means the show's going to pivot into something entirely new, or
I think they're going to.
I hope.
Yeah.
I will be so delighted if they do, because as much as I love Baby Yoda and that little guy is absolutely adorable, and I want to kiss him on the little hairy forehead.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong in a show about Mandalorians.
And I think Jon Favreau is smart enough to know that.
And I would be very interested to see if we get some sort of. I mean, we'll get kids content with Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Baby Yoda again somewhere. I just don't think they would bring him back so quickly.
You think maybe in Ahsoka she meets up with Luke at one point?
Yeah,
and we could see him.
I think so. That would make more sense to me.
I mean, I just can't see them getting rid of him because of the relationship that they established. I mean, that helmet removal moment in the last episode.
It just feels so final.
Exactly. It does feel final, but it also feels like the amount of people that have staked themselves into this relationship of father and son. I'm looking at it not as a story standpoint, because it's hard for me to look at things by Disney at a story standpoint, but as a business standpoint, it's a dangerous move.
Yeah, and I get that, but I think with them making literally 1 million new shows, they're gonna have plenty of other
That's fair.
And also I just also am tired of people watching the show purely for Baby Yoda.
I'm right there with you. It feels a little gatekeepy, but
I gatekeep all day. It's my main job.
It's just you made fun of us when we were super stoked for Force Awakens.
With that being said, let's talk about Luke.
That X-wing pulling up. So we see the X-wing. My first thought is, it's those Rangers of the New Republic guys. They're pulling up, and then Cara Dune goes, one X-wing, we're saved. I go, one X-wing, it's Skywalker is my immediate train of thought, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna get too hyped. I was chilling on my bed, and as soon as that X-wing pulls up, I'm sitting at the edge of my bed.
Yeah. No, I like.
I couldn't let myself get too hyped, but then it's the black cloak, and I'm like, it has to be. And then the green lightsaber ignites. I'm like, no way.
So you see the X-wing, and for me, I was instantly like, "There's no way."
Your mind was that they are trying to subvert expectations.
Yeah, because I was doing like the Disney group watch or whatever, like their version of Netflix party, and so I was on FaceTime with a couple friends, and I was like, "There's no way," and they were like, "What?" Because they didn't really like get it, and I was like, and then when Cardoon says the line, I was like, "This is definitely a person."
The line is what sold me. Is that it's like, this is the Jedi.
Yeah,
and the only thing that makes sense X-wing wise is Luke Skywalker.
And like in my head, I was like, "Holy shit, it's Luke Skywalker."
Yeah,
and then when it landed, I go, "Oh, God, it's Luke. It has to be." And then in my head a little bit, I was like, it could be Ahsoka as like a subversion.
I would have been so
that would have been
mad.
dirty. That would have been
I would
dirty.
have been so mad.
So dirty. So when he steps out, we see the lightsaber ignite on the screen, the like hologram screen. So
was it green on the screen?
No,
I didn't
everything
think so,
was blue.
yeah.
So when it lit up there, I was like, definitely puts off Luke vibes, but still like let's
could go either way.
But then the second you see the leather glove and the green saber, and you're like,
well, it's when you don't just see the green saber. It's that green saber. It's the one.
Yes,
it's Luke's return.
Hilt. You see the hilt.
It's Luke's return hilt, 100%.
Oh,
and it is. I will say, aside from the Rogue One Darth Vader scene, which this is very, very reminiscent of,
which also like is such a like. It gets cool that is, but the amount of times I've seen that on Twitter or TikTok of people like, did you know it's a parallel?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
We saw the episode.
You're on film Twitter, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, he fought in a hallway just like his dad."
It's like, you know what he also did like his dad? Lost a hand. Like, there's plenty of like fun little.
And also died.
Died, yeah, that too.
But that like the best since Disney has owned Star Wars, those are the two best lightsaber scenes that we've got,
Definitely.
without a doubt.
10 out of 10.
But him in the hallway right before the door, so good. And the way the door opens.
With the fog, too. Oh, no. It was just nut moment after nut
should
moment.
Should we show your fan cam?
Yeah.
It just makes me want to start throwing some punches.
Honestly, and like, I also love that they established that the Dark Troopers were like near impossible to beat,
and
then
he just plows through them. And but that's there's just that constant like. They kind of try to make us forget how powerful lightsabers are.
Yeah.
And then you see a lightsaber being used, and you're like, yeah, nobody stands up to that.
Yeah,
like
the prequels make lightsabers feel not very powerful because everyone has one. But then when it's you're like, oh yeah, that is the most OP weapon you could have, especially when it's a Force user. Because like Din or Bo-Katan using the darksaber is nothing compared to any Jedi.
That's just a strong sword.
Exactly. Like it's.
But no, like even like the first Ahsoka scene in that episode where she's plowing guys down.
Yeah.
And the Force, it's like
they're just like this.
It's like, nobody stands a chance against that.
Honestly, she didn't really need Din's help. Like
no, not at all.
Like he there's the line in that episode where he's like, even your fancy laser swords wouldn't be. And they're like, yeah, they could. They totally could.
He just took out like. He protected the civilians more than anything in that episode.
Also, it's very like cheap of me to say this, but I feel like the fight between Ahsoka and the Magistrate could have also been won with the most simple video game move of saber throw and force pull back, because there's no way that chick is good enough to deflect two different lightsabers.
Well, no, that's the thing. You have one spear, you throw a saber, have it pulling back, and then swing the other saber.
One of them's gonna hit, but that's whatever.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The seat.
Luke's face.
Luke's face. It was the wrong move.
Definitely leaves some things to be desired. It's still Luke.
It's 100% still Luke.
It literally was Mark Hamill.
It was Mark Hamill. They got some random guy to be
the
body double. And so my biggest problem with that is that they didn't match his hair. And had they matched his hair, it would
hair-
have felt because the hair being CGI feels so weird.
It feels more like Battlefront Luke with that hair.
I saw that Luke,
Yeah.
and I was like, this looks like they pulled the Battlefront 2 model straight up.
The first time I watched it, I genuinely, for like the first 5 seconds, couldn't tell if it was a weird body. Like, I was like, is this Jason Sudeikis? Like,
Yeah,
I was so confused.
I couldn't tell. I was like, is this an actor or is this face replacement? And then you started talking. It's like, oh, they
It's
de-aged.
deepfake, yeah. And I understand why they did it. And I also think, like, that is probably great for Mark Hamill because he very openly does not like The Last Jedi
100%.
or any of Luke's
He
arc in the
deserves-
sequels. Yeah,
He
so
deserves some.
I'm happy for him because also the only other, like replacements that we've gotten.
Ahsoka.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. No, like I was gonna say, like different, like Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Or Han Solo.
Yeah, is because of like the massive age difference or death. You
Yeah.
know, so it's like
I mean,
Mark Hamill is still there and willing to do it,
And-
he should do it.
yeah, what I think they should have done is they should have got some. And I understand Sebastian Stan is an A-list actor. They're not going to be able to get him first. Like, I mean, I think you might, but
I mean,
it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's being Luke Skywalker. They could have got Sebastian Stan and made him look more like Mark Hamill, as opposed to trying to put Mark Hamill's face
on literally
on some
anyone.
random dude.
Yeah, or even just commit to any actor, whether it's about
100%.
like
somebody who kind of resembles him.
with no deep fake, because then that opens up. You can have that actor
Exactly.
on different
That's-
shows or further in this season.
That's my biggest problem is like,
they're tying
we s-
themselves to the deep fake forever.
do you think they have committed 100% to any time he shows up to doing that? Or do you think if he just ends up showing up more in something else, they will fold?
I think if they have a good enough reason to, like if he like it would be great. Or honestly, maybe this was a test, like see what the reception's
Yeah.
like. I mean, I think it's smart of them to stray away from main characters like that, like ones that have aged out of the role.
I have a lot to say about the choice of Luke Skywalker.
Okay, go for it.
I don't think it should have been Luke Skywalker.
Because
understand.
of
It makes the galaxy seem so small. And
I'm okay with it just because it had to be a Master Jedi, and this is so close to Return of the Jedi, where Luke was like technically the only Jedi.
so my big thing is, and I know it's, but they introduced the character last year, Cal Kestis, in the video game, who I don't want to spoil it for you.
Nah, you can spoil it.
He ends the game. At the end of the game, his goal is that he wants to help Order 66 survivors.
And what's the timestamp?
He's right. It's right. It's like
Is it before or
It's
after
right-
Battle of Yavin?
it's right. No, it's before New Hope,
Okay,
and so it's like right before New Hope, like pretty close
like
to.
a couple years.
Yeah, probably around the same time as Solo, like probably 10 years at the most. But he's 18, 19 in that, and then he would be 10 years, 30, 35, which is like not too far off Cameron Monaghan's actual age. And it would have just like the fact that they set that up. It's like his goal at the end of that game is like we're gonna go and we're gonna help people like me who survived and have been hiding from the dark
like
side.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, Baby Yoda is the perfect example of that. And so I just feel like doing that expands the universe even. I was kind of hoping for Kyle Katarn.
Kyle Katarn I think would be dope, but I would way rather see Kyle Katarn be a main character that
something
starts
else.
as a smuggler. Then like I would
Yeah.
like to see his transition
journey.
to Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, but just something like that. Like I feel like there were options of characters that have already been, even Mace Windu,
Yeah.
because like
Mace Windu also could have made a lot of sense because Mace Windu definitely knew Baby Yoda during the prequels.
Oh,
Like
for
he
sure.
was aware of Baby Yoda
Yeah.
for sure.
And could you imagine? What if Mace Windu just happened to be Baby Yoda, like one of the ones who was training Baby Yoda?
He's Baby Yoda's dad.
And he nope.
and
he's
Mace Windu and Yaddle's child.
and Grogu sees Mace Windu
And
and,
he says,
gets
"Daddy."
so excited. Daddy, you are. But I just feel like Luke, like again, as hype as I was, and then R2 pulls up and I like lose my shit.
Which also maybe R2 knows Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
Like-
because I love Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker gets so much unnecessary hate. He's a little dumb, but he's fantastic.
He's a king.
Yeah, and he got so disserviced in the sequel trilogy. So I'm so glad that we'll get to see more, hopefully, or that even we got to see more. We got
Yeah.
to see what we got to see. but it just feels so like it's like
Also, if we get a great Luke Skywalker story in between Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi, it almost elevates
hey,
the Last Jedi's
let
arc.
me see why he's like that in Last
Or in
Jedi.
that arc, yeah.
Let him watch Kylo Ren murder Grogu.
Kylo Ren is going to decapitate Grogu
Yeah,
in like
if-
15 years.
If that's the case, I think it's 20 years. I think somebody
20,
did the
yeah.
math. 20 years. And people are like saying the timeline doesn't line up for him to still be at the temple. It's like he ages.
He's literally going to be 1,000 years
slow.
old at some point.
Yeah,
or
he
he has
will-
the potential to.
He will be. He's only 50 years old at this point. He will be 70, maybe starting to talk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean the whole point is that he's an infant right now.
kid
Even-
ain't gonna be able to hold the lightsaber. Kid's arms, they're like this.
No, I mean I could one also like there's like I can see an argument for Baby Yoda being able to defeat Kylo Ren, but he obviously doesn't because Kylo Ren
Exactly,
Like, we've seen that. Yeah,
And so I could see this being if you are correct and Grogu doesn't come back and he's with Luke, I could see that being a way that they kind of retcon a little bit of the sequel trilogy and there are survivals from Luke's temple.
definitely.
Because I
And-
don't think they kill Grogu off.
No, and I could totally see Grogu coming back in like Ahsoka, but for that to be the case, we would need but your thing about Cal Kestis is he could totally come in the Ahsoka show. Like she meets up with him.
Don't make me watch the Ahsoka show because Cal Kestis shows
You're
up.
gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna
though.
watch
You're
the
gonna
Ahsoka
watch
show.
it.
I'm gonna
Because that would make more sense. That
yeah.
Damn, what a trio that would be though if it's Ahsoka, Cal Kestis,
And
and
Ezra.
Ezra, yeah, it's a squad.
Yeah. I mean,
And those three could be the perfect like they could literally have an argument with Luke about like Luke wanting them to train to be Jedi, and Ahsoka's obviously like I'm not a Jedi, and same with Ezra. Like Ezra's
Yeah.
very like gray Jedi.
and
Bendu.
Cal's like I'm just trying to
Just
get.
help.
I want to get people to you so you can train them. Like I
Yeah.
don't need to be here training.
no, that's
And also Cal has a master.
oh he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is also her voice actor looks exactly the same, so they could bring her in too, which is
Interesting.
such a smart idea when you're doing stuff in the Star Wars universe.
I mean, they got real lucky with Bo-Katan. Like, I
Except,
don't know if they were planning that, but
her character is supposed to be. Have you seen her character supposed to be like 55
yeah,
timeline
she
wise?
should be really.
she
old,
looks
yeah.
great.
She looks great for 55.
What's the skincare routine on Mandalore?
Yeah.
Before we dive into your notes, Boba Fett after credit scene.
Funny, one of my notes are related to that. Really quick, did you notice McClunky?
Oh,
There's a McClunky in there.
does he say that right before he's shot?
I think Bib Fortuna or one of the aliens yells McClunky while Fennec is like shooting people. One of them goes McClunky. I'm not even kidding you. Like look at and like instantly that was first of all I didn't know there was a post credit scene until like an hour after I'd watched it because who was I talking to? This is like at 2 a.m. on Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday morning, I think I clicked on someone's live stream and someone mentioned like the post credit scene and I was like, oh, so, yeah. So because the first thing I did after watching the episode was edit that clip of that TikTok of Luke Skywalker. But
You're like, yes,
yeah.
yes.
And while I was doing it, I clicked on a live stream and saw that there's post. So I went and watched it, and like I literally stood up. I was like, "He said McClunky." Like I was more hype about
so
that.
do you think that was probably Jon
Oh,
Favreau's little jab at?
100%.
McClunky?
Yeah.
That's funny. Bib Fortuna got fat.
Played by the same actor that played General Grievous in the prequels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's a super fun setup for a Boba Fett miniseries. Hopefully.
And also, we didn't really get bounty hunting from the Mandalorian, but it would be weird if we had two shows about a Mandalorian that's a bounty hunter. Which
Yeah.
we do technically, because that is technically both of their professions, but they're both doing different things.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what happens. See if we get any returning characters, like we already talked about the possibility of those guys. But like him going into Jabba's palace and just being like, "Nah, this is mine."
Yeah.
It's a very, very big power move.
Bold move for sure.
He's like,
that's
he's
a
been-
bold move, Cotton.
He's been planning that since he got out of that Sarlacc pit. He was watching. He's like, "Yeah, and then he's like, "I just need my armor back.
Yep.
All I need is my armor back."
Yep. 100%. Yeah. So that's exciting.
And Fennec will be there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm sure we'll get Timothy Olyphant there.
I mean, it makes sense. It's Tatooine.
Just because of Tatooine at the very least.
She
Get Lando in there. Could have a crossover with the Lando show.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't know when that. We have no idea when that's set or how that's gonna
the
play
thing.
out. We have literally nothing about that show.
Yeah.
People are like reporting like Donald Glover's set to return, which nothing is official.
Yeah.
Ming-Na Wen signed on to Bad Batch.
I saw that. Yeah.
She is, and it's a younger version, so they're gonna kind of do her origin, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to do that. Because like honestly, I'm not gonna watch Bad Batch. I don't care about Bad Batch, but the fact that they're gonna expand her origin is cool.
Yeah.
She's a cool character. She's a cool new bounty hunter. She reminds me of Zam from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar design. Both of them, I did have the Bib Fortuna, McClunky, the clone scientist, and Luke's deep fake. So we kind of hit everything.
Yeah, I mean, again though, that R2 moment. I need more stuff like that. Literally.
Oh man, dude. I mean, it would make sense because it's a X-wing, but if C-3PO would have showed up, I would have hated it. Like it would have ruined the whole episode for me.
Oh, but it would have been so funny. It would have been so funny.
No, I would have been
Are
pissed.
you're completely done with C-3PO?
I hate C-3PO.
Have you always hated C-3PO, or is it like a
no,
recent thing?
it's been over years of just like listening to him.
Did it
like
start with you might not have noticed me because of my red arm?
that didn't help his cause. That I like before the sequels came out, I was done with C-3PO.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
just rewatching
Ewok-
every Star Wars
The
movie for
Ewok
years.
stuff is where it's like, okay,
yeah.
you're not a
It's funny the first time, literally just the first time.
I
but-
still stand by him being Chewie's backpack though. I love that. That's
oh
such
yeah,
a fun
no, that's a
bit.
good. Yeah, I also love him in Rise of Skywalker because everyone just shits on him the whole time. I do like that.
And also his whole taking one last look at my friends, and then literally end of movie, his memory is restored, and so it's like
Nothing. Yeah.
that you tried to make a deep moment with C-3PO, and it kind of landed a little bit,
For a second.
but then you pull it.
Oh, but in the theater, I was so hyped. I was like, I knew they weren't gonna kill him off, but
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. Yeah, I was pretty lit. I was actually also drunk the first time I saw Rise of Skywalker.
Good.
So
Also, that last there's that random protocol droid in the finale that he had the weird head. It was a protocol droid, straight up protocol droid body, but when he's going to the area that the dark troopers are in,
and he just avoids him.
he stops and he just hides and just walks walk fast, and then just keeps going. It's like,
Yeah.
what an interesting
Just randomly
Yeah.
there. Yeah. All in all, great finale.
Yeah, I had a
Loved
good time.
seeing Luke.
I'm very interested to see where they'll go. It's got to be stuff that has to do with the War for Mandalore, but I don't know if we'll even see Mandalore this next season. Like, there's so many different ways they can go.
Yeah. Mandalore also seems like kind of a hard thing to do in live action, just visually.
Yeah.
I
I mean, they do have those
yeah, they
giant LED screens. Have you seen that? They did a behind the scenes thing that they showed during Investors Day, and I'm sure Christmas Day they're doing the season 2 of the documentary series that they did.
Mhm.
But it was the boat scene from episode 3 where he's on the boat with Baby Yoda, and they showed the set and they built the boat, but literally it's just a 360 circle screen
Yeah.
around him. It's wild.
It's crazy. It's really cool what they're doing. So that does make it more possible, but I feel like when you're showing a place like Mandalore, it's got to look
There-
big
it
and
has to be a-
expansive, like
It
like
has to be
Coruscant.
a lot more set
Yeah.
work for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'll keep watching the show. Obviously. Would love to see more Luke. I really hope they don't bring back Grogu. I guess it would make sense if whenever they wrap up Din's story,
He goes and sees him.
he goes and sees him, and that's like the finale, or he takes him, and that's how they explain that he doesn't get killed by Kylo. But I would rather see Ahsoka or Cal Kestis or Ezra take him from Luke at some point in a future season of a future show.
Luke is like he's trained with me, but he's not my Padawan.
yeah,
He needs a true master, and
Yeah.
somebody else picks him up.
yeah.
Or it's revealed that Din Djarin is force sensitive, and we get his Jedi.
See, that makes the universe too small.
He gets his Jedi path. Oh yeah, that would be so dumb.
Or we see that Baby Yoda becomes Snoke, which I'm all for.
That
all
would be
for.
really funny. It'd be like, oh, can you imagine how angry everybody would be? Like they would idolize this small thing, and then he is the one who causes every problem.
I was talking to someone who's like really not deep on Star Wars at all, and they were like asking me questions about the timeline, and I was like, because it was before the season finale, they're like, do you think like Grogu could get killed in the show? I'm like, well, no, they won't kill him because he becomes Snoke. And they're like, wait, what? Who? And I was like, have you seen any of the new ones? And they're like, I think I saw The Force Awakens. And I was like, oh, well, like, you know the guy in the big hologram?
Yeah,
That's Baby Yoda. Just full up lied. And they were just like, oh, like, and they, like, honestly, like, they were bummed. And I was just doing my Grinch face.
The more people you can get to believe your theory before it comes to fruition is... Yeah, that's... I would love to see something different with him. Because, like, again, as much as I enjoyed this season, it felt very similar tonally to season 1.
Yeah.
As in, it's Wolf and Cub.
It was honestly just season 1. They just jacked it up a little bit. Like,
Season
it
one-
just got a little bit more
Season
power.
1 with more fan service, and it's like the end game to Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
it's
straight
just-
up.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Where it's... I think season 1 probably tells a better story, like, a little bit more cohesively, but season 2's better time.
Yeah, definitely. On a scale of from 1 Baby Yodas to 10 Baby Yodas, what do you give the season finale?
I'll give it 8 Baby Yodas, and the only reason it gets knocked down is because of the Luke deepfake. It took me, like...
I'll agree with that.
I was
I'll co-sign that.
I was so hyped with all the Luke stuff. Like, I was like... Yeah, like, I was, like, sitting at the edge of my bed. I was like, yes! So, like, it's Luke Skywalker! And then it's just his face. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he looks like that. And
Yeah.
then R2 shows up. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah!
yeah, then it's back. Yeah, I co-sign 8 out of 10 Baby Yodas.
What was your favorite episode of the entire season?
Yeah, the finale.
Yeah.
It can't.
I
not be for
really,
me.
like, the last 3 episodes were all I really needed to be like, okay, this
Yeah.
season. Because I was very iffy. I was like, this all feels very, like, low tier to medium fun. Like, fun, but not, like, really great.
Yeah.
And then those last 3 episodes came and I was like, okay.
They ramped it up.
I do think Favreau should have directed the finale.
Fair.
Because it was kind of lacking a little bit of flavor. But
Didn't like that Peyton Reed.
I have no problems with Peyton Reed. I just feel like he's just a little bland.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, though, like I love
it
the
had
Ant-Man.
Luke, and that's all
Yeah,
I really care
I love,
about at this
but
point.
he had nothing to do with that.
That's true. No, that's 100% true.
He probably didn't even direct Mark Hamill.
I mean, yeah. Like, I feel like there was more direction from Mark Hamill from, like, a technician than there was any creative. Like,
And
unfortunately.
And maybe Jon Favreau was on a FaceTime call and was like, "Good job. Yep, you're Luke Skywalker still."
Yeah, no, I hope Mark Hamill's happy with that. He should be.
I mean, have you seen his Instagram?
Mm-mm.
He's talking about it a little bit. Well, not talking about it. He's teasing it.
Well, I
He-
saw you tweeted,
his
is
tweet,
there anything good on TV today?
He posted
yeah.
that tweet on Instagram and then posted a picture of him going with the comments turned off, which is
Smart.
so good at, like,
so smart.
good move.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about toxic Star Wars fans for a second.
Oh, I have a tweet in my drafts that I'm gonna fire off right now about
Live
that.
tweet.
I'm live tweeting. Is that what that is? I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, I have to write this out. It's 2 tweet long. Okay, and I won't read it, but I'll summarize it.
Okay.
My biggest problem with Star Wars fans, especially around this time with the sequels and Mandalorian, is if you have any sort of critique, people who are complaining about Luke's face, people who said Rosario didn't really feel like Ahsoka, both problems I have, and so that's why I'm on
Things
this
that we've
side.
said.
For sure. When people are like, you need to not complain and be grateful for what you got. It's always those Clone Wars, those kind of fanboys. It's like, no, because that's not... They don't, like, owe us anything, really. Like,
It's like the people that are like, well, $600 for a stimulus check is still a check, and it's like,
we don't owe them anything. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
they're
no,
making
no,
money
no.
and we're paying for it. So that's all. Like, we don't owe them only compliments.
yeah,
We're allowed to ask them to do better. Like, when stuff falls flat, like when the Frog Lady episode happened, it's like, do better. Like,
yeah,
give us, and like that's I've been feeling that since the sequels, where it's like, I hate that Rey's a Palpatine. They're like, be glad that she's a descendant of somebody and not a nobody. And it's
I
like,
mean, her being a nobody makes more sense than her being a Palpatine.
it's like, just let me have Mike. I'm not like, man, I hate Finn because reasons.
black.
Yeah, it's that's not a valid critique. If you're validly critiquing something and you want to start a conversation about it, do not fire back with
That's racist.
be grateful.
Yeah.
Be grateful that you have like.
Well, yeah. See, I have the problem with like the flip side of that when you're like excited about something, and then like I was talking about this earlier, like being excited about Luke coming back and him like messing up all those Dark Troopers, and then people being like, "Oh well, you just like a little proud boy incel because you didn't like The Last Jedi," and it's like, I didn't say anything about Last Jedi. I said something positive.
I was excited.
Yeah, like regardless of your opinion on The Last Jedi, like that shouldn't affect how you feel about this episode.
it's-
Just because Luke is in both of those things, like just because Luke's in New Hope and Return of the Jedi doesn't mean I like. It's not why I like Return
No,
of the
yeah,
Jedi
it's-
more. Like it.
It's just such an interesting, like mindset, and it's a lot of the time it's Raylos, which is
I'm so disconnected
So-
from that. I
and
don't
my
even.
girlfriend is very much she beefs with those people all the time on Twitter, and it's really funny because they're very defensive, and most of them are like not very good. Not most of them. There's a big section that's very vocal on Twitter.
Mhm.
They're not good people. They're racist. They say very bad things.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah, I just feel like anything as big as Star Wars is gonna drive like the worst.
Mhm.
It's like K-pop. Like
Straight
I mean,
up.
there's plenty of people that listen to K-pop that are probably great, but then you have like the
loud
the
fandom
5% of
yeah.
like the crazy fans that attack everybody.
But yeah, and then it's people are like complaining to me like it should like logically it shouldn't have been Luke. It should have been Ben Solo who answered the call. It's like what the
that
heck?
makes no.
What the heck is like he was 5 years old at this time.
Yeah,
At the well, it's 5 or 6 years after a return.
something like that.
Because he's conceived after the Battle of Endor.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight.
And so he is either 4 or 5 years old at this point.
Yeah,
He
because I think Rey is born during the Mandalorian, roughly.
okay.
Either or a little bit after. Like
No.
because she's
Is it-
she's born
is it-
15 years 15 to ABY.
So like 10 years after Mandalorian.
Probably. I don't know.
Because
I'm just
Battle
saying.
of-
things.
Battle
She's
of-
younger than Kylo.
oh
that's
no,
all I'm
there's
saying.
I always forget there's the time jump before Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
which is like
Like
so
2
funny
years,
because they
yeah.
leave Han and
Han and-
Carbonite for so long.
Yeah.
They come up with a plan that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think the original trilogy spans over the course of like 3 to 5 years.
yeah, it makes sense.
Because there's also a little bit of a gap between Empire and New Hope as well.
That one's much smaller though.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, people on Twitter suck. We're smart. You can't dispute anything
Yeah.
we've said. All this is fine.
How would young Kylo Ren protect and train Baby Yoda? Like there's no way do they even know he's force sensitive at this point.
Well, Kylo Ren doesn't meet Baby Yoda until after he turns to the dark side. Because Baby Yoda's Snoke.
Oh, okay. No, see, I think there is a comic that all of these people who are angry about Luke Skywalker and all this stuff have been referencing the last couple days, where it's revealed that Kylo Ren didn't destroy the temple. It's Palpatine / Snoke using the Force through him or something like that. I don't know. It's not his volition. It's
Yeah.
done. And I was like, so Baby Yoda's there, and he talks. He just crawls up on his shoulder and just,
Dude.
destroy it, you will.
The idea of like Baby Yoda being a parrot on Kylo Ren's shoulder, but also just mind tricking him into thinking that Snoke is what Snoke looks like is hilarious.
The
to
fact
me.
that he's just always Baby Yoda. They re-edit that throne room scene, and it's just Baby Yoda just chilling.
That might have to be my winter break project.
No.
Now that actually sounds like a lot of work.
And then Kylo decapitates him.
Yeah, mainly just that shot by itself. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just there's toxic parts.
I mean, there's toxic parts of any community.
Yeah.
And like for all I know, like me complaining about that is toxic. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
exactly. Whatever anybody says, if they're on opposite sides, it's going to be seen as toxic.
you're only as bad as your something wisdom. Yeah.
I don't.
Something dark side.
Nice.
Nice.
Bum.
Dude, that bum. We've already started a
Yep,
video with
we've
bit.
done this
Okay,
bit
yeah,
before.
okay.
It's great though. it's timeless.
It is time.
That was the first time I ever watched Family Guy, was watching that trilogy.
Fair. That's a great intro to Family Guy,
And
honestly.
I've never watched it like all the way through. I've watched a few, like handful of episodes.
I tried to, but I ended up I only got through I started at season 4 because that's when they went
Yeah.
from the 4:3 aspect ratio to
Yeah.
16:9. So I was like, or are they 6? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
Aspect ratios TV. Transition. TikTok of the week. TikTok of the week. We're back at it again. On
We'll probably only do two. We'll each do one this week instead
Yeah.
of last week.
No,
we
we
went
had
a little
way too
hard.
many last
well,
week.
last week we had a break, break
That's
before
true.
filming, so
that's true.
we definitely ranked up.
There
some.
was a lot happening. Oh, something I want to talk about before TikTok of the week. The SNL skit with Pete Davidson and Timothy Chalamet is the worst piece of television we've had in years because of that skit alone.
See that skit alone. Yeah, I really don't like Timothy Chalamet. Like I have a lot. Like
I don't
And
mind
I've-
him as an actor. I think he's
I've-
a great actor.
I've been reading some news that's
well, I
I
mean,
mean,
any
understandable.
Hollywood.
It's
Yeah.
it's just frat boys, but
Oh, well.
like bad frat boys, like
TFM, bro. You're in Dune. TFM.
my big thing
Sandworm.
with SNL. I'm ignoring you. My big thing with SNL is like, there's always been ups and downs.
Yeah,
This
I
is
mean, there's always
currently-
gonna be
This
yeah,
like it still feels this has just been the longest transition period between because like after
between
the
good cast.
after the old like 90s cast and stuff, and then there was that transition that took like a couple years before we got like Amy Poehler,
Fred
Andy
Armisen,
Samberg,
yeah.
like all that great cast that all left the same year, which was
Yeah,
just
that was
so
tough.
unfortunate.
It was just tough, dude. I watched the other day the Dear Sister one. The
that's my all-time
it's
favorite
so
SNL skit.
funny. It's
That one,
so
and then there's
funny.
the one where Andy Samberg and Shia LaBeouf go into the gas station to
That
buy
one's-
beer.
I'm pretty sure it's the same episode too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Shia
'Cause
LaBeouf.
it's Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf,
But no, the what you say?
So
is
funny.
So funny. It's the like. It's that bit can't be overused. Like it's
No.
just it works.
In fact, we should record it.
We
later.
should do it.
But
But, yeah,
anyways, you were talking about.
I just think it will get funny again. I think
I mean, I hope.
my
I just,
personal
I
thing-
don't think Pete Davidson is unfunny. He's done funny skits and he's had funny stand up and he's like obviously comedic. I just think that skit was
Oh,
the
it's a bad
the
skit. I don't
most
like it at
just
all.
like the lowest of low points that they could have hit.
and people are praising it.
Really? Because I've
Absolutely.
not seen anything
I've-
positive about it.
There was a Twitter moment on about that
Well-
was praising it.
I'm sure that was manufactured.
That's fair.
Like because that's the thing is like SNL has like a verified TikTok, so like
Yeah.
they're like a big business industry. Like they're prime time, so they control
That's fair.
not physically prime time, but like they're on NBC. So.
But yeah, I feel like it'll get back to being really funny because like there's still funny stuff that you can pull from it. I really personally don't like what's her face, Kate McKinnon. And they,
Oh yeah, I don't think
and-
she's funny in
and
anything.
they overuse her so much that I think it is a
She is like the
hindrance.
most wine mom funny. Like she's the perfect.
Oh, my mom loves her.
I'm apologizing to your mom, but
No,
she basic.
straight up, my mom loves her and Melissa McCarthy
Oh, well, didn't they do a movie together?
and Kristen Wiig. All of them do movies together.
Yeah.
All three of those ones were in the
Kristen-
the Ghostbusters movie. There were 3 of the 4. Toss Leslie Jones in there too.
Oh no.
Also, the fact that they felt the need to, I don't know if this was on purpose, but like they did 3 white and 1 black Ghostbuster even in the reboot. That feels weird. Because like he was token black guy in the first Ghostbusters. That's why he was included.
Yeah, but I don't think Hollywood's evolved enough to not have token black people.
That's fair.
Unfortunately, like that's just still a thing that happens.
That's fair. You
Or
ready, for,
still a reason for things to happen.
Yeah.
Anywho,
you ready for TikTok of the week?
yeah, you go first. I'm still scrolling through. I've
People ask me, Ringo Starr, do you miss the Beatles? No, I don't. Because all 3 of them are dead and replaced with lookalikes. I actually wrote an album about this process called Revolver, based on the gun I used to do it. Ringo Starr, the Beatles.
the
That-
Beatles.
And there's a great Ringo Starr voice. It is just the most. Like I watched that one 4 times and I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's something.
People ask me Ringo Starr. It also implies that the other Beatles are all dead when when Paul is still alive.
This one, there's so many good
Did you
ones.
like your own TikTok?
Yes, obviously. How do you think you got to drive engagement up? Okay, let me go through my DMs really quick because I've sent out some good ones. I don't always like ones that I like because my instant reaction is like, oh, I got to send this with so and so.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun. Nice and firm. No homo. Sexy, sexy, sexy.
Got a smudge.
Thanks, bro. Welcome. Wha, wha. I love you, bro. Yeah, kiss my bros.
On the lips.
No homo. Later.
I sent that to my friend Travis. His only response, I do be kissing the homies.
That
First of all, which is obviously way too intricate of like a handshake or whatever.
How many times did that take him to do it?
I mean,
How many times did they have to kiss on the lips?
how many times did they have to grab each other's butt and go nice
That's
and
a
firm?
verb.
Yeah.
It was really the hand in the pants one that really shocked me. though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been funnier if they had done that with their actual genitals. Like just
Well, that's it for this week.
yeah, so next week
Yeah.
we're going to have
Holiday episode and Snyder Cut.
so be excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that thing we just said. It's gonna be a great thing to talk about.
Truly. Truly, truly.
You can follow us on socials. They will be down here.
Lower thirds.
Lower thirds. They expand. They're very nice.
So nice.
I
My wife.
yeah. Follow us for more shenanigans. Go like that tweet I did. It'll probably be like a week ago now about
Yeah.
Mandalorian fans.
I will hopefully be posting the skit at the beginning of this episode on TikTok.
Yes, that will be on our TikTok. Follow it. We're
Here.
here on all social media.
If you are an audio listener, go check the TikTok. I think we're going to start cutting TikTok of the week on audio.
That's fair.
Don't need to, but I just, after last week of having like 18 TikToks
Yeah,
in a
that's
row,
fair.
it's a little bit something to be desired, but we'll figure it out. We'll get a
We'll get
rhythm
there.
going.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Good night.
Yeah. Sleep well.